Morning. It's technically like day 1/day 2 because of the Halloween 40th anniversary of terror. Last night I never really wanted to say anything as far as it goes on social media or anything previous. But last night I did see the new Halloween movie, so I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. Just say I saw it. My opinion will come out later. I'm not going to write a review because I don't believe in that type of thing, because everybody has their own opinions and stuff. So this is almost like technically day 1 with everybody in the convention, getting your autographs and photos and stuff like that. So it is approximately 7:33 in the morning, and last night it was the movie showed at 12 o'clock midnight. I didn't get in until about 3:15, 3:40 or something, and I got went to sleep and woke up about 6:30, 6:45. So 3 hours of sleep, and the con starts at 10 o'clock. It's 10 to 7, so we'll see how it goes from there. I do have a little bit of energy boosters because I'm gonna need it. Last night, my impression of the movie last night, was fairly, in my opinion, good. So I waited there until from probably like 5:30 at night, because it said no, first come first serve basis as far as getting your seats. I guess that there was something on Facebook or something like that says, do not make lines before 11:30 or you're not going to be let in. I didn't see that. A lot of people were showing up about like 11 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock to going in, waiting in line and getting their seats. I'm paranoid, and my anxiety kind of goes up a little bit when I don't think that I'm going to get a good seat. So I figured I don't know how many people were going to attend for this, but I didn't want to go and sit in one of those rows where you're like the first two off to the left, off to the right, and you're like this, the entire time. And then your neck hurts and your vision, and you just want to walk out because it's not a good experience. And you might as well wait until next Thursday to get, the tickets on Thursday. The problem that there was a couple of people that sat there and said, oh, there was this thing on Facebook and you weren't allowed to have your line and start a line beforehand or whatever. I don't know the reason why. I never saw it. I really never look on Facebook whatsoever, so it's like, should have put it on the website or some, an email saying that, when you're going to attend. So there was this lady or whoever, she comes up and saying, well, the line's over here, And there was just this giant, huge mob of people standing in front of the theater. And this is before 11:30. And it's like, wait a minute, you're telling us that we can't stand in line before 11:30, and it's like 11:10, and you're standing in line, and it's okay for you to do it. I don't understand that. So we were telling her we never saw it. And I explained to myself, hey, I've been here since 5 o'clock, 5:30, standing in line. I think it's unfair for people to go and stand in front of there and saying you can't stand in front of the line or make a line at by 11:30, or you can't get in, or they'll void that you ever even showed up or something. To me, I think if that actually happened, that's a, excuse the word, dick move. On that point, I understand it's like loitering, and they didn't want people crowding around and loitering the whole theater. We weren't doing it. I stayed off to the side of the theater. Right next to the theater is like a bookstore. So people were going back and forth in the bookstore talking to me. Oh, you waiting? And I go, yeah. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. And so basically, it started to rain last night. Thunder and lightning and rain, and it came down soft, but it came up in sporadic form of hey, this is it's coming down heavy. So what happened is that I got underneath the mat, and it's right next to the cashier booth. So what happened is that right after I did that, a line started forming behind me because I had a Halloween sweatshirt on. And so they're like, they're probably assuming, and some people asked, like, oh, hey, are you, is this the line? And then the line started to form. But for this lady to go ahead and come out and express the fact of how we couldn't form a line before 11:30, but it's okay for her to go and do it. So there was another gentleman that was there, kind of like, okay, but he was expressing that same knowledge, like, hey, it's okay for you to do it, for us not to, right? So this is the line, we've been here. I think it's common courtesy for you to go and go back and wait in line. And so what happened is that they started getting into a shouting match. And the guy's like, look, I don't really care, what supposedly the email said. We never received it. I never received it. Facebook, social media, whatever. We never received anything. I even looked on my mail to find out, hey, was there like something that was sent out? I didn't see. So she sat there and said, well, this is what was supposedly said on the Haunted Grounds tour, which is a bus that you would take around South Pasadena, and Hollywood and all this to see all the filming locations of Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween, Halloween 1, Halloween 2, Halloween 3, and stuff like that. That was filmed all around one sector of the area. And so she started yelling, and the guy's like, look, I don't care. And I'm about to like lose my cool, because I'm like, look, I'm the first in line. Shut up, lady. And freaking go somewhere. Go into that big, giant, huge line and make a scene over there, or get at the end of this line, or the crowd's going to go and beat you, and then you're going to get really sucky seat, and then you're going to really bitch. And then the guy's like sitting there, like, dude, I don't care, lady. I don't care. Stop yelling. Stop yelling at me. She's like, I'm not yelling. Yes, you are. And I'm like, it's in my ear, and I'm ready to go. Yeah, you are, because you're avoiding my ear space. I got that from kicking and streaming. And so I was kind of like, okay, well, whatever. And then all of a sudden she goes, well, I really don't care. I saw the movie twice. Okay, all of us were looking at her like, okay, and you saw the movie twice. Good for you. This is your third time. So what do you care where you sit if you've already seen the movie twice? So, you know, I was kind of like, at that point I was annoyed. I started like laughing, the people that, you know, I started talking to in line and everything. Was kind of like looking at her going like, okay, so you've seen it twice, big deal, get your ass in line. So the theater manager came out, and then he started talking to some people. Well, one guy that was in line went over to the manager saying, hey, there's some other people that's standing, they're forming a different line, you know, where we've been. And so the manager went over there, and then I guess they told the manager the same thing. Oh, there was an email, blah, 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 blah. But they're standing on the side of the theater too. It was on the opposite side. So that's where Blaze Pizza is, and the theater. And I'm just like sitting there going like, okay, but they're forming their own lines. And so the guy came over and talked and goes, okay, I talked to him. I said, you know, that all these people here were first, and, you know, you guys are going to be first, don't worry. And he goes, and he recognized me. He goes, I know you've been here for a long time, so that, you know, I ain't like worried about, you know, you or anything like that, you getting in line. And so I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, so it was just a bunch of like, I don't know what the lady's problem, or there was also a couple of guys that were pure a-holes. And I started getting annoyed with them because the guy goes, oh, well, the line's over here. He's just being kind and courteous to let you know that there's a line. And what you're in, you're not in a line. So for these people that we all have a giant, huge, you know, connection with, as far as, you know, having, you know, a horror bond, and you know, a thrill to be a horror fan, and for a franchise like Halloween, is that we're just going to sit there and we're going to fight over the stupidest damn thing. And it's just one of those things where I kind of looked at it and I was ready to go and say something and go like, look, we're here for one common thing. We're here to all watch a movie. This is a line, supposedly what the manager says. Regardless of what the email or anything, I don't want to hear any fighting, especially at 11 something at night, when I've been up since about like 4:30 in the morning. And I probably would have about an hour 10-minute drive to get home, and it's raining. So I was fed up. The lady the guy goes, hey, go yell over there somewhere. Go somewhere else. So overall, the manager came out, and he sat there and got the people out of the doorway. And there was tons of people that was like in the doorway, and I'm like, okay, there's a lot of people that's in this doorway, and we're off to the side where we have a respect for people going in and out of the movie theater. These people were like waiting. They were like the old commercial where they're like open, right in front. Looked like Black Friday, and a TV was 5 cents. And they were ready to go and bust in there. There was no organization what they had whatsoever. Even though it was raining, they were probably trying to get dry. But where we were standing and stuff, there was plenty of space that was open and that you wouldn't get wet or anything like that. So it was one of those things that just went on, and there's just like people that were like fighting over no apparent reason. And for the lady to go off and saying, well, there was an email. Okay, well, you gotta have the fact we never received the email, lady. I never received it. If we knew about it, I think it would have been a bad move, because a lot of people don't live in that area. We don't know what to do. And it's mostly like restaurants that's in that area. It's not like a mall. It's like, restaurants all up and down the street right there. And you're just kind of like, okay, so where do we go? Okay, fine. Where do we head off to if we're not supposed to line up here until 11 o'clock or 11:30? but you're here at 11 o'clock to 11:15 forming your own line. But that's okay. For us, it's wrong. It's one of those things. It's like, you know what? It's I don't know what the problem is. I mean, I don't want to go and like sit there and say, you know, she's a bitch. And a lot of people even like looked at her like, dude, you're freaking crazy, lady. Like, you're not even making sense. But went to see the movie. Got home about like 3:15, or 3:30. Woke up about 6:30 in the morning. 3 hours of sleep. Over 10 or 9. Let's see what 7, 9, like 9, 8, 9, 10 hours of con that I plan on doing. Hopefully, I get to see a lot of people like from the franchise and from the horror community. That I know personally, cosplayers and stuff like that. I already know that there's going to be 100 or 1,001 Michael Myers cosplayers there. Most likely all brand new. There was a Michael Myers cosplayer there. He was the brand new Michael Myers and stuff like that. He didn't last too long. He just took off his hat or his mask, and that was the end of it. So, but off of this is the beginning of day 3/2, and or day 2/1 of Halloween 40th anniversary, Terror of Fear. Hopefully everybody has a good day. I will go and try to go and do a vlog of inside the con later on this afternoon and stuff like that. So see you later.